to the Ignite Hub's Future of Tech Lunch and Learn for October. This is our last guest speaker series for this month. So today we have a very special guest. Our topic today is a cautionary tale of cryptocurrency deception with Walter Hauser, who is a volunteer at Montgomery County Police Department in the Financial Crimes Unit. Welcome everyone that's here in the space. Welcome to our virtual guests that are in Zoom. As a reminder, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Verizon, for this guest speaker series of Future of Tech. They have generously sponsored this guest speaker series and our fireside chats with us. So thank you to them for their sponsorship. Before we get started, I will introduce our guest speaker for today, Mr. Walter Hauser. He volunteers for the Montgomery County Police Department, MCPD, in the financial crime section. He teaches cybersecurity, fraud prevention, personal safety, and emergency and non-emergency assistance. He has implemented web pages with the MCPD website to promote fraud and cybercrime prevention. Previously, he taught cybersecurity at Thomas Edison High School in the Montgomery County Public School System. After school hours, he mentored 2 Cyber Patriot teams and coached students on passing the Security Plus exam. He is also a member of the MCPS IT Foundation's Education Committee, where he advises MCPS on building a curriculum that prepares students for the IT workforce. Before retirement in 2017, he served as a cybersecurity project manager, applications development manager, and enterprise architect to enable clients to design, develop, and deploy more resilient and assured software to rid the world of bugs and flaws. So welcome, Walter. This is an exciting topic that you have for us and very important. So I'm going to turn off my mic and I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you, Eduardo, who's behind these screens here and is setting up the tracking camera. Baby, I better follow it because it's not following me. So I'm going to come over here, and so it'll track over here so you get to see Eduardo. You've already met Kimberly, and I appreciate the hard work that Eduardo puts in, as well as Say, in terms of supporting this program, because it takes a team. And also thank you, Verizon, for sponsoring the Ignite Hub and this program. It's a great thing to have that kind of support. The facility here is marvelous. It's a pleasure to work with all this technology. I'm used to bringing it with me in my bag and having to set it up with people who don't know an RJ45 from a, let's say whatever, or a Cat 5. And so I'm grateful to have this excellent technical support. So I've set Eduardo up, so he's got to be perfect now. Anyhow, my name again is Walt Hauser, volunteer with the Montgomery County Police Department. I'm not a sworn officer, okay? And that makes a big difference in terms of the department. Let's see, we need to advance the slides. Okay, great. So I don't wear a badge. I can't fix your parking tickets. I regret. Matter of fact, I wouldn't. And matter of fact, you better not ask a police department, a sworn officer to fix your parking tickets. That's just going to get them and you in trouble. Now, the department doesn't endorse commercial products or services. I might mention some in passing, but that's for identification and education, not for endorsement. And also, this presentation is my responsibility. It's not, it is not a product of the department formally, and I'll try not to say anything that would embarrass the department, but if I do, as I say in Mission Impossible, how's that go, Kimberly? Should Should you accept this mission, we will deny your existence. So now we're going to talk about this from a perspective of a retiree, but that's only because I happen to work with the Keeping Seniors Safe program. So this is a nod to seniors and many of the people who are victims to scams and frauds are seniors. The senior community is getting is improving in terms of its resistance to scams and frauds. But the amounts that they have when they do fall victim are far more substantial because, we're talking about people's life savings that are potentially in jeopardy. And this is a real situation. This is not, we get the reports of these on a weekly basis of several $100,000 of frauds and, or scams, victims of frauds and scams. If you have a question, please speak up. I'll be glad to make points of clarification through the presentation. And also, if there's something I don't understand or you want me to repeat, please speak up. So we're going to talk about this in the point of view of a particular sample person, somebody that I just made up, not a real victim. And the BitGem exchange is not real, but it does represent some of the things that can go badly wrong in terms of cryptocurrency. So now imagine you're Henry. Why would you speculate in cryptocurrencies? Anybody want to venture a guess? Get rich quick. Okay. Now, what would it be about Henry's situation as a retiree that might cause him to want to get rich quick? Okay. What's the story with healthcare?
Yep.
Okay. Costs are rising dramatically, and exceeding inflation. His retirement might not even have a cost of living increase, or it's well below that of the actual rate of inflation and far below that of health insurance. Healthcare is an increasing percentage of his expenses. So he's looking at the longer he lives, the more at risk he is for getting in debt. Now, this can, the calculus may be different for a student in college who's concerned about educational loans and paying them off, or someone who's in mid-career who's gotten overextended in their home loans or other kind of financial obligations. And then there are those who have made lifestyle choices that put themselves in jeopardy. So there are a variety of motivations for investing and getting rich quick. So Henry's savings may not cover his retirement costs, and the cryptocurrencies have had a reputation for significant gains, returns on investments. There's been a lot of growth, but in the past there's been a lot of ups and downs. So it's very, very speculative. Catch me if I say the word investment when you talk about cryptocurrencies, because it's not an investment. It's too speculative. It's too chancy, and also the kinds of rules and regulations that govern, stock market and other investment opportunities aren't there for cryptocurrencies. And we're going to talk more about that. Now, Henry meets a friend who says, hey, have you heard about this cryptocurrency exchange? They make it really easy for you to get on board with this new move. Okay. So what do we call that? Well, it's fear of missing out, or FOMO. Okay. There's a lot of emotion that goes into these decisions. And so you want to check yourself when you start feeling excited about something or fearful about something when you're making investments. That's true across the board, not just with cryptocurrencies. So Henry decides, well, I'm going to check this out. He goes to the website, and it is slick. It's, wonderful presentation, well organized, lots of functionality and features, allows him to make deposits and withdrawals. It's just like a really well done banking site. Might even have two-factor authentication, let's say. And of course, all the transactions are encrypted with the latest in transport layer security. Okay, so, and to get started, it just takes a few dollars in crypto coins, and you can go down to the local gas station and just walk right up and put his money in and get a crypto coin wallet, and he's off and running to making his fortune. Now he watches this over time. The account grows nicely, encouraging him to make more investments. It's really very encouraging, the kind of return that he's getting and how rapidly it's growing. Oops. Now, let's give a little background on cryptocurrencies. There are various kinds of cryptocurrencies. There's the public ledger coins, and Eduardo, please correct me if I misspeak, because Eduardo, of course, gave the presentation on Bitcoin and the blockchain just a few months ago. So anyhow, I'm hoping he'll step in and bail me out if I misspeak. The public ledger coins actually record the transaction so that all that participate in that coin can see what's going on. Okay. That has some pluses and minuses. Everybody can see what's going on, but also it can be slower because the processing of all that across the entire blockchain can take considerable time. The privacy coins are private ledger or no ledger, and such as Monero and Zcash. They offer, quote, privacy. They can also be more useful for someone who's trying to, let's say, avoid the law. So there are pluses and minuses with that. Stable coins can be in either category of public or private, and they are linked to a specific fiat currency, usually the US dollar, because that's generally the currency of the world. But it might be other currencies that some countries have denominated their crypto coins in so as to facilitate online transactions within their economy. Now let's talk about coin mining. This is where the coins come from. It's basically Satoshi Montgomery wrote this paper back in 2005, right?
Something like that.
Something like that. Anyhow, no one knows who this guy is. Okay, he's just kind of dropped off the radar, never really was on the radar. Please, you can sit right up in front. That's your reward for being late. Thank you for coming. And anyhow, so he wrote this paper, and it described how you have this electronic store of value, and the coins are generated through the solving of a cryptologic problem. And the nature of the problem is such that the number of coins generated at the beginning is far greater than the number of coins that are generated now, and it sort of will taper off until there's basically a fixed supply of coins. Now, I have to pretend that I don't have a degree in economics, because I might be tempted to go down the rabbit hole of, you don't want to base your economy on a fixed money supply. But let's stop there. Okay, now forking. That's where you take the coin and you say, I don't like the way these guys are running Bitcoin. I'm going to create my coin. Okay, and then you fork your coin off, and there's some wonderful opportunities for bilking people out of the money by forking an existing coin, but having control of that that the resulting coin, so that you can manipulate its value and also basically get the other people to victimize the other participants. Then there are mixers and tumblers. So the people that one of the values of cryptocurrencies is anonymity, and people don't really want to have the authorities knowing what they're doing. And maybe that's because they have a high value for their personal privacy. They want to not have everybody know, their transactions, not even their bank. It might be that they're engaging in something shady. So the mixers and tumblers take the transactions, break them up, and redistribute them into multiple wallets, and make it very hard to track. And of course, that's even more so with the privacy coins. Now, the last concept that I'm mentioning here is the initial coin offering. And that's basically when you create a new coin, you announce it to the community, which is not going to be broadcast news. It's going to be a community of cryptocurrency aficionados. And you explain why you're announcing this coin, what its goals are, and then elicit participation. So now I've got a table here of scams, okay? Many scams deal with people's desire to make money or their fear of not having enough money, etc. Okay, and I've got the documents in English, as también documentos en español de estafas. So please, after the meeting, come up here and take a look and help yourself. So phishing attacks. How many of you get phishing emails? If you haven't raised your hand, you're obviously not using your email. So anyhow, phishing emails are a fact of life, and we all get educated on them, and they're going to, they're just getting better and better. Artificial intelligence. And if you think that the controls are going to prevent bad guys from even using ChatGPT, just think about, well, you take Kimberly's LinkedIn profile, especially her hobbies, if she discloses them, or her Facebook, and if she discloses her activities, and you say, this is my friend Kimberly, and I'd like to write her a letter congratulating her recent activities. Could you summarize them and tell her about opportunities that I have for her to participate further in some of the things that she likes? Okay, you'd write a very good, well-crafted prompt. It'll take the information and it'll summarize it, and it'll be very personal and be like your Kimberly's best friend. And it'll make her offers that it'll be so hard to refuse. Okay, these are the things she enjoys doing. Her vacations, her hobbies, what she likes to do in her spare time, if she has any. So phishing attacks are only getting better. Ponzi schemes. That's where I collect your money and I give you quote some returns. Just enough to keep you interested, but basically, pocket the bulk of the investors' money. And of course, Bernie Madoff comes to mind as a classic recent example. Fake airdrops and giveaways. I give you a little loss leader to invest into my crypto coin, and then once I've got you hooked, I give you further opportunities to transfer your money into my pocket. Celebrity impersonations. How many of you saw Larry David's endorsement of FTX? Okay, classic example. Now, I'm not saying anything about FTX and whether or not it was legal or not. Okay, Everybody has probably their own opinions, and it's currently under litigation. But the example of celebrities, just because they're a celebrity doesn't mean they're smart or they know what they're doing with their money. Okay. And besides, if they were any good at investing their money, would they share it with you all strangers? No, forget it. So pump and dump schemes. I've got an opportunity for you. I'm going to, I got this hot stock. How many of you saw The Wolf of Wall Street? Yeah, classic pump and dump. Okay. So recovery scams. And for every scam, there's somebody, some kind soul will come to you and say, I can help you get your money back. Okay. Just give me a little bit of money up front and I will go and track down those bad guys and, you know, recover your funds. Well, if they ask you, if they approach you, it's 99% of the time a scam. Okay. If you go to a company that specializes in recovery, and there aren't very many of them, okay, it might not be a scam. Okay. I'm not guaranteeing it won't be a scam, but it might not be. But recovery scams are unfortunately often committed by the very people that stole your money to begin with. Whoops. Okay, now there's some scams that are unique to crypto. Cloud mining scams. Okay, I've got this computer center that I'm using. You know, I'm using the equipment to generate crypto coins. Why don't you come and invest? Okay, right. Okay, and I got a bridge in Brooklyn. Fake wallets and applications. Anybody will sell you software, download it, and not only do you get something that may or may not work, you'll probably get a lot of malware to go with it. Okay, and while you're putting your, you know, crypto coins in the fake wallet, okay, it's collecting your logins and passwords when you go to your regular bank. Oh, rug pull. Okay, I've got I made an investment in an exchange or a crypto coin, a cryptocurrency, and got all my friends in there, and all of a sudden the exchange disappears. The currency evaporates. It's worthless. Okay. And that is, think of it as somebody's just pulled the rug right out from under you, and you wind up in a very unflattering, prone position. Pig butchering. This is a little bit longer run, longer con, where let's say you get a text from somebody says, hi, how's it going? And you look at the number and you don't recognize it. And you respond, well, I think you have a wrong number. And they says, oh, isn't this Naomi? No, it's not. Well, gee, do you know how I could reach you? And so they get engaged in a conversation. You know, they get very friendly. They might even say that you're a really nice person, and you know, they'd like to get to know you better, and they send you a picture, and they might even be a little bit romantically, you know, etc. Until finally they say, well, you know, I run a couple companies in China, and as well as I'm working on investing on this exchange, and I've really made, you know, 100% profit over the past year on my investment. And so they get you, you know, they're your friend now. Okay? You've never met them. You have no idea what they really look like, because all you see are pictures that they've pulled off of somebody else's social media account. And for all you know, they could be a middle-aged guy in Nigeria. Okay. So pig butchering, fake exchanges. Now, this is a technique that's used in combination with these others, where, you know, they create a very nice looking website. You can buy these in the dark web, or you can make your own, or you could just download some bank's website or some exchange website with the tools that you can get on the internet for free, and create your own exchange, and then get your victims to invest. And it's the same way with the ICOs. You can you know, talk people into investing. Now, again, these scams might have crypto technology, but they're really all about people. And you're yeah, and whether you fall for them or not is about your needs and wants, fears and desires as a person. And we all have fears and desires. Okay, nobody is immune. Out there, there's going to be a scam that will work on anyone. Now, Henry was lured in by a fake exchange. That wonderful piece of software that he visited didn't really exist. Okay, beautiful website, slick materials, looked good, very legitimate. Okay, but if he'd have dug deeper and looked into the management team, he would have found that their resumes were a little thin. They had no track record on LinkedIn, or it was not consistent. Okay, it may be that they took somebody's LinkedIn bio into the website, but when you go to LinkedIn, there's no relationship to this exchange on that person's LinkedIn account. So that's a real big clue that there's something fishy going on here. Also, anytime somebody promises you above average market returns, okay, well, even if it's just 10% per year, got to be cautious, okay, because these kinds of returns are not going to be given away by some stranger. So now he could take out some token withdrawals, but when he decided that he wants to take, let's say he wants to take a large sum of money to pay off a debt, okay. And well, and then there were problems. Okay, he had an account transaction fee. He had to pay some taxes to some foreign government that quote regulated the exchange. And if he pressed it, he might find that the exchange disappears on him. Okay, and all the money that he thought he had in this account had already long gone. Now, there's another way you could take advantage of crypto coin, and that's Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin Bonnie and Clyde. This couple robbed Bitfinex of almost 120,000 Bitcoin. Okay, 4.5 billion. Okay, and it says here, I mean, the article said more than 2,000 transactions. I think that's probably an underestimate, because to move that amount of money without being observed on the public ledger, you'd be breaking it up into lots of bits and pieces. That was the hard work. Okay, stealing the money was probably the easiest part of the job. And I guess if you're a crook, you recognize that robbing the bank is a lot easier than actually fencing the money or the goods. Okay, well, in the course of the crime, the value of the coin rose from $600 coin to $68,000. Okay, so this is one of the things where they had a really good problem, but the more valuable it got, the harder it is to move it around. Okay, so they went to a whole bunch of dark web marketplaces and converting them into a whole bunch of different cryptocurrencies and lots of false names, and they probably spent hours just trying to keep track of all this loot. And yet they got caught, because all it takes is one mistake, and particularly on a public blockchain, and somebody's going to get you. There are some people that missed that $4.5 billion. Let me assure you, and they're quite happy to pay private companies such as Chainalysis to track it down. Okay, but speaking of chain analysis, these scams can scam the experts. Okay, $35 million was stolen from over 150 wallet holders. Okay, And we're talking about computer savvy people. One was a chain analysis employee. You know, the company that goes tracking down the criminals got robbed himself. Okay. And the common thread here was that someone breached LastPass. Now, I was a LastPass user, and I am appalled by what happened. But fortunately, I got out of LastPass as soon as I found out that things were going in the wrong direction. Okay. And switched over to Bitwarden, which, okay, I'm not endorsing either one, but read Consumer Reports and you'll get, you know, recommendations. And I don't think they're recommending LastPass anymore. And there's some reasons for that are very technical, for why the LastPass was vulnerable, and very disappointing. Anyhow, but one key indicator is when a company gets bought by a private equity firm, it's not good news. Okay, it's not good news. Another opportunity for Bitcoin's skullduggery are the state actors. Okay, North Korea, their legacy group, which is basically the army, a unit in the army, has stolen $3 billion. And they paid for their nuclear program and funded half of their ballistic missile program. Okay. So these people are basically, you know, doing this on an industrial scale. All right. So I wrote up Henry's experience in an article that appears in the September issue of the Beacon newspapers, Red Flags and Cryptocurrency Investments. Much of the same material that I cover here. I'll have the link, and I guess I can provide the PDF to the. Do you have the PDF to share on the on the Zoom? Great, if you would. Okay, and now, I've given you a lot of problems. I haven't told you how to solve it. It's a problem. It's difficult to solve it. It's a challenge. The Montgomery County Police Department receives over 4,000 financial fraud reports a year. Okay. And these are forwarded to the section that I volunteer for. Okay. And it's reviewed by the section chief. But not every report can be investigated. You know, there's only 5, 6 detectives there. Okay. That doesn't go very far over 4,000 reports. Okay. So they got to set some priorities. Okay. And we're going to talk about the factors, but the principal one we want to address here is solvability. Can we solve this? Okay. Now, if it's somebody that's doing a scam here in Montgomery County, and you know it's in person, it's a lot easier to solve. If it's somebody outside of Montgomery County or even outside of the United States, okay, and it's done electronically, much more difficult. Phone numbers, emails, identities even are spoofed and untraceable. Criminals request the payment in money wires, gift cards, cryptocurrency, etc. I got a little brochure here, okay? And it's titled, Gift Cards Are for Gifts. Don't give them to strangers. Don't give them to strangers, okay? And if you have a friend or relative who, you know, says, oh, I want to give a gift card to this friend I have online, stop them, okay? Because if there's no contact, if they're not there, if you haven't ever met this person, okay, guess they may not exist, and your money will be gone. Okay, peer-to-peer payments, okay, Venmo, Zelle, Apple Pay, Google Pay, etc., are largely unrecoverable, so hard to track. They can be actually worse than public crypto. Okay, so we got very little physical evidence, few legal rights and legal recourses, no regulatory limitations on these exchanges or limitations on your loss. Yeah, your quote investment, okay, and I put that in big air quotes, okay, because you're not investing, you're speculating, okay, is not covered by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. Not covered, okay. Not covered by anybody, okay. Electronic evidence is ephemeral. It disappears quickly. It's hard to collect. It's hard to safeguard. And hard to present in court. Digital forensics is a very, challenging technology. And the people that are good at it are very scarce. Criminals conceal themselves by personas, as I mentioned earlier, stolen from social media. So, this nice person that you're talking to isn't necessarily who they say they are. So, Henry's example is very instructive for us. Okay, we need to be cautious and do our due diligence on our investing. Okay, and if you're speculating, don't speculate any more money than you can afford to throw into the fireplace. Okay, that's my criteria for investing in Bitcoin. Thoroughly research any website. I mean, for any transaction. Okay, and if you go to a strange website, be very cautious. And this is not just for cryptocurrency, but for any financial transaction online. Crypto exchanges are not regulated. Customer deposits, even if it's a real exchange, okay, are not insured. FTX went under. Now, whether FTX was a scam or not, the courts are going to decide that. So stay tuned. Okay. There are those on both sides of that issue. Scammers hide behind anonymous identities. It's difficult to track them down, hold them accountable, or recover stolen funds. Now, the FBI was able to recover about 40% of the ransomware that Colonial Pipeline paid during that incident about a year ago. Okay, but that was because they used experts from chain analysis. And we mentioned them earlier, the people, including the guy that got scammed. And if you want to know more about that particular incident and cryptocurrency technology, Andy Greenberg's book "Tracers in the Dark" is an excellent and very readable source. So, again, like any investment or scam, be wary of unrealistic promises, high returns. You think you're going to get rich quickly. Well, you may be in fear of missing out on losing all your money. Okay, let's see here. I think I skipped over something, didn't I? Okay. Well, anyhow, on behalf of Chief Marcus Jones and Montgomery County Police Department, I want to thank you for your attention and the opportunity to speak here. And here's some contact information. I can get you the PDF where you don't have to write it all down, but scribble quickly. If not,
we'll send it.
And also these handouts have the same email link on there, and that's good. The website that I've been working on actually just came live. Okay, so I've got 36 web pages out there on frauds and scams. Okay, which I think is probably pretty much state of the art in terms of its coverage. Okay, I mean, yeah, the FBI and FTC have got me beat, but they got a few $1 billion more than I do. Okay, let me see if I. Okay, all righty. Let's have a little fun.
Right.
Yeah, are there any questions before we go on? you want to set this up, and so we'll play Jeopardy. Yes.
So,
The people online.
The people online want to hear a question. I'll have.
okay, no, that's fine. That,
Can you up there?
Did you turn off?
It's
the
on.
door?
Oh. Okay.
Try it.
so I hear the scammers are usually going for the elder. So what programs do you have to educate the elder for not falling for these?
Oh, nice softball setup. Let me, if I could. All right, I have here a brochure for the Keeping Seniors Safe program, which we give presentations and much of the same material that I hand out in my presentations are all right here. We have a number of them coming up, and just drop us a note. If we like to have a group, okay? Individual tutorials are kind of not scalable. So if you can get us, 12 to 15 people at least, that's great. We have done, maybe 50 or 60, some, in hybrid formats, both online and in person. Well, I got the website out there. So, the link is the cybercrime HTML will link to, we'll have a set of links to the rest of the scam websites. So just, follow that. Okay. Does that answer your question?
I had a question about other vulnerable groups that might be susceptible to scams, like youth or the immigrant community who might not know as well. So what does the police department do to support those communities?
Well, we have the financial crimes unit does presentations to other groups. We have also a native speaking Spanish speaker who's a detective, and she gives presentations. And she does this also for the Spanish Citizens Academy. So there's a Citizens Academy for those that speak English. Okay, that's run 4 times a year, and then the Spanish speaking academy is run, I think, once or twice a year. Okay. And so those communities can learn about the policing and the different programs of the police. And Detective Miranda is available to give presentations about frauds and scams to those communities. We have detectives, but not in the financial crimes unit, that speak other languages, and they can be importuned, I might say. That it's probably not their normal line of business, but they know that their communities are vulnerable too. So we're talking Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese, etc. So the language groups can be addressed. Now, youth, let me say, I don't know if any youth would be wanting to listen to an old guy like me. Okay. But I know there's some excellent videos, and I'd be happy to share them, that have been done to address youth and the need for cybersecurity and scam and fraud prevention. But and our detectives, of course, would be happy to do that. But there's not a program that I know of that's directed toward the youth. Okay. And of course, middle-aged folks, they get the standard treatment.
Thank you, Walter. I think we're ready for Jeopardy, right? I'm going to. Nope, no questions.
Mm-hmm. Well, in that case, now we've got 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, Walter, for coming today and teaching us about cryptocurrency and scams that we need to pay attention to so we don't fall victim to that. So that information is really important that you shared with our community today. So thank you for that. I have a thank you gift from the Hub for your time today. So thank you. Your own Bitcoin wallet. Thank you. Thank you. Before we log off, just a few things. Our guests, if you can please complete the survey. We want to know what you thought about this session today. So the QR code is coming up soon. I think our online guests are off, but it would be in the chat if you're there. And two other things. One is under your chair, if you have a name tag or a badge that says you're a winner, feel free to look around each chair. If it's not on yours, we have a gift from you, again, courtesy of Verizon. That's what it looks like, yes. You can check. Don't squat too low. It's okay. It's okay. And then lastly, I just want to remind you that we're right in the middle of our fall programming. We have the IT Career Pathways workshop tonight in Spanish. We're having a boot camp on Apple Swift Playground free here at the Hub. Is it sold out? Is it sold? Are there any more seats left for the boot camp in English, the Apple Swift?
Maybe one.
Okay. You'll have to check and see if you can register to get in. And we are also having continuing with our career coaching. So we have some sessions coming up for the rest of this month and continuing through December. And of course, we have more Future of Tech and Fireside Chats coming up. But just for the remainder of October, that's what we have, some boot camps and other opportunities. So thank you for your time and see you next time. Thank you.
Survey?
Yes, survey. If we have a QR code.